the word thought, THOU, it's thou, and then it's GHT. So the holier than thou crew, CREW, of misfits, I put up on both Facebook and Instagramming the bit about Brad Pitt, BRADPITT. So here's the thing. When we were doing vampirical, VAMPIRICAL, vampirical work, which is designated to just myself and Niklaus because of our extra specialness and extra spatialness and extra special relation and affinity for one another. There was upset about, well, first of all, a Brad, BRAD, is a screw, SCREW. It has thread, THREAD. It grips, GRIPS, and it rotates and pulls something together. It's not like a nail where it's a smooth. It's not like a smooth where you hit it and it holds together. It actually pulls together as it goes, and you turn it in, like a wing nut. Sometimes goes and bolts the other side, so this way you have an easier time holding, a WINGNUT. Okay, so for macadamia nuts and coconuts, which I also explained, coconuts being the companies that were given. There's two companies because there's two hemispheres. Both hemispheres were given the exact same cadence, circadian rhythm, CIRCADIAN RHY. I can't spell rhythm. I always get it wrong. But anyway, so the rhythm is like it goes to a beat. You each have a, and I said, think of it this way. You each have a paddle. There's two individual men in the boat, in one boat. They each have a paddle. They each are weak, tired. They barely have any energy left, any like whatever, but they have to go. They have to work together. They have no time for fighting and whatnot. They were given the exact same instructions. You both sing the exact words on the exact beat, and you move your paddle like up, forward, down, and then you pull, and then you propels you forward, and you work together in sync. ENSYNC. That's the way that the rhythm works. There's no time to whittle a new paddle. Like some of you, God handed you a paddle and you're like, oh, look at this. You know what? I think it would be better if I take these two off and this, and I'll just row with this big. This will be much better than like a whole paddle. That's what humans do as idiots and morons. Then some of you got in the boat, were handed the same words and cadence, and you're like, I think you and I should be different than the other boaters and the other paddlers. Let's write our own. We'll use the same beat. We'll just write our own words, so we'll be different. And it's okay if they get a head start. We'll just be different. Stupid fucking humans. Jesus Christ. And then there's some of you that got the paddle and the boat, and like you're fighting over who gets to row, and I could do it. I know I could do it. Like, why don't I do it for like a little while, and then I'll give it to you. Just like move over. I'll just do it. Oh my God, fucking idiots. I swear to God. My children are so much easier to get to move. Like I tell them once, they just go. The difference of having one queen and a hive of drones that actually like are in sync. So anyway, we put up there. All right. So I said Brad Pitt would probably be the big screen, the silver screen, closest genetic to my own, which I don't look like in this, but this is because I'm at like 180, 190, and we're in year 2020 where the science is broken, and I'm big boned at this point. You know, a lot of people say that too. They're like, oh, well, you know, my mom was like 120 pounds and I'm like 180, but like, I'm just big boned. No, shithead. Your bones, when you die, when they weigh them out, when all the meat's off of them, they're exactly the same weight. Did you know that? Yeah. When you take all the ligaments and the flesh off and the muscle, the bones weigh the same. It's really you and the broken science, but you're human, so whatever. Whatever. I need that fixed because in the Mr. and Mrs. Smith portrayal that Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt did for Nicklaus at 9, and then there was what's that mean? So that was the size I was at the end of World War II when we were in the chapel with Antonio's men outside. And I was crying hysterically because I found out that my future, even after all the work that we did, all the cadence we wrote, all the preparation in order to fix moving forward, that my future at that point looked like it had capsized and that I would be sitting literally goddess Styx in the river Styx, Riverstyx, without a paddle and without a man to paddle me. So that goes back to the Tom Hanks, Tomhanks, Castaway movie, Castawaymovive, and his volleyball, Volleyball, called Wilson, Wilson. That would be me being born. And at the level that I am at street, right, with like nobody special, no money, no anything, there is, we call this like street performance, STREETPERFORMANCE, or street non-performance, NONPERFORMANCE. I am non-performance at this point, and before, I wasn't supposed to be a performer, nor a starving artist. I'm in a classification at this point. They've left me as the number one. They've left me as up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, WITHOUTPADDLE, as Goddess Nyx. I mean, that doesn't change. And I'm in Fleabag Motel, that building right there, that one right there. That's called the Anchor Inn, ANCHORINN. When I got kicked out of Linda and Luce, because like he like fucking went crazy for a night and came at me, and I had I had saved money from a refund from the state that they had given out. I stayed there for 3 nights and then I ran out of money. So then I had to leave. But that is what we call a Fleabag, FLEABAG. Hotel. While I was there was men from the U.S. Customs, is what they said, with prostitutes sharing a wall with me. In local BAYSIDE. You know, you treat a goddess in this day and age, yeah, like you treat fucking the rest of the shitbags, and then you wonder why shit doesn't work, fucking assholes. All right, so when we were doing crafting and drafting before this version and before we were born, we used Brad because he's the screws, so the screws and bolts would be put together correct. He's the closest to my visual and Nicklaus's visual appearance. He is, we had one movie which was Lestat, LESTAT, and Louis, LOUIS, for mastery of, it was Master Apprentice and I guess Junior Apprentice, because these are how we explain the times of who's who. And it was a vampire, VAMPIRE movie, because some of the people in, say, Moscow, like country of Russia area, USSR, they were frightened of some of the stories that they had heard. So we said that we would offset the vampirical, worry that we were actually doing good, not bad. The name Lewis is in the movie. It always pertains to my father. There's no other Lewis on the planet that matters. And then, or anywhere in history. You always have to have one anchor point. So it's my family and Nick Klaus's family. And I don't know what his family's names are, so I'm going with my own. And him and I are supposed to be together. So I said for a cure, you need one anchor point of reference and truth, which is he and I as one unit, UNIT. And then we're like jigsaw puzzles in anatomy because men and women fit together. And he and I are pre-fitted, PREFITTED, which is not heard of in Norman Fleabag motel areas, but it's known about elsewhere in important places. Let's think about this. So that's why the universe is built around he and I and tells only one story, which is our own. Some people, by the way, were getting angry because they didn't like long hair on males, which is fine. So Brad Pitt had a and the word Pitt, Pitt, is my word. It's owned by myself, and it's relative only to myself in the sense that that was an ancient ANCIENT word, WORD. It goes with the Patriot Government Bond of year 3 for the Buff, BUFF, which is both myself and Nick Klaus as Buff and KCTY. We're KCTY and Buff together, he and I, as the one couple, the one unit, as the first agent as well, the first issuing agent and the first agent. So that's how that works. Let's think about this. And then we had for the Pitt crew, PITTCREW, that we were going. See, we did Buff and KCTY work before we were born for that crew, and then we did Pitt crew work going forward for the place we were going. Goddess Nix was going to wind up in the River Styx, and we were hoping not to capsize her one boat that she just wanted with the one man she's pre-fitted for. And she definitely did not want to be a size of cortisol 180 to 190 just to prove how broken humans are and live as a flea bag. That was never on my agenda. That sounds human. Sounds like human punishment, but whatever. Yours will come to you, trust me, in spades. So SPADES, after a morgue's toe tag certificate system was put in place, so nobody was evading that. Okay, so what was the other thing? Okay, so we had Brad Pitt in Interview with a Vampire. So it was INTERVIEWVAMPIRE. My Lewis had an interview with a necromancer. The guy's name's something like that. And the Lestat is for the status people, STATUS. Like they always have to like have status or whatever. Yeah, you fucking whatever. And then it was also about like the static, like the temperature, TEMPERTURE for my records. I had to get the hot temperature, the habanero tempers. I had to interview them as a vampire and then put the names and movies together. Second movie, Brad had short hair. He was going after the Nazis and all of the families of the Third Reich to kill them. So this way, we did a vampire, we did a Nazi hunter, NAZIHUNTER, as an apology to whoever might be habanerally tempered out in the world in the misfit Pitt crew that I would wake up in. And then we also did, the last movie was Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which they're two agents. They each work for opposite, like him and I. He works for the East, I work for the West. And we had to, and then we come together, and that was our real life story. And that was to fix this Pitt crew. And gather as much information and document it. So this way we didn't have problems being husband and wife quickly the first time, which we're still having a problem with in year 2020.